Welcome back to the Winning Brief Soundbites. I'm Mabel. In the next 5 minutes, we're going to look at Belgium's brand new criminal code, a complete rewrite of rules that date back to 1867. By the end of this episode, you'll understand why the reform happened, how the new structure works, and you will practice phrases you can use when discussing criminal law reform with colleagues and clients. On 22nd February 2024, the Belgian Parliament approved a comprehensive overhaul of the country's criminal code. The new code enters into force on the 8th of April 2026. It replaces legislation that has been in place since 1867. Now, that is over 150 years of amendments, additions, and patchwork revisions that made the old code increasingly difficult to read and apply. The reform took 8 years to complete. A commission of criminal law experts rewrote both Book 1, which covers general principles, and Book 2, which sets out specific criminal offenses. So, what changes? 3 things stand out. First, the old distinction between felonies, misdemeanours, and minor infractions disappears entirely. The new code uses a single term, criminal offense, for all forms of criminal behavior. Second, the code introduces an 8-level sentencing structure. Level 1 offenses carry no prison sentence. Level 8 offenses carry life imprisonment. Everything in between is clearly defined. And third, some outdated offenses have been removed. How outdated? The old code still included crimes like disturbing public order in markets or corn warehouses, and disclosing the names of persons who pledge property to the Mount of Piety. If you're wondering what that means, so was most of Belgium. The point is, this was a code that needed updating. Meanwhile, new offenses, including ecocide, have been introduced. We will cover those in later episodes. So why should this matter to you as a lawyer working across borders? First, Belgium is not simply updating old rules, it is modernizing the entire framework. The goal is to make criminal law clearer, more accessible, and easier to apply, and that affects how you read, interpret, and advise on criminal matters. Second, the shift from 3 categories of offense to one single concept, criminal offense, has direct implications for multilingual legal work. If you draft, translate, or advise in more than one language, the terminology has changed. The old classifications no longer apply. And third, this is not a future event. The new code takes effect on the 8th of April 2026. If your clients operate in Belgium, the time to understand the new structure is now. Now let's look at some of the phrases we just covered. Phrase 1. It replaces legislation that has been in place since 1867. In place means currently existing or in effect. You use it to describe a law or system that is active right now. Phrase 2. The old distinction between felonies and misdemeanors disappears entirely. Disappears entirely is a clean way to say something is abolished or removed without trace. Phrase 3. The code introduces an 8-level sentencing structure. Introduces, paired with a new system or rule, is one of the most useful verbs in legislative English. Phrase 4. That affects how you read, interpret, and advise on Belgian criminal matters. Stacking 3 verbs, read, interpret, and advise on, builds authority. It shows the full scope of a lawyer's work in one sentence. Phrase 5. The time to understand the new structure is now. Short and direct. This construction, the time to do something, is now, works well when you need to create urgency without sounding dramatic. Time to practice. Repeat after me. It replaces legislation that has been in place since 1867. The old distinction disappears entirely. The code introduces an 8-level sentencing structure. That affects how you read, interpret, and advise on Belgian criminal matters. The time to understand the new structure is now. Well done. In part 2, we look at the new sentencing philosophy, why imprisonment is now a last resort, and what new penalties Belgium has introduced. Until next time, keep practicing. Belgium just rewrote 150 years of criminal law. If your team advises clients on Belgian matters, the English they use matters too. I help lawyers and legal teams communicate complex legal change with clarity and confidence. You can find my work and book a conversation at thewinningbrief.eu.